friends, it's Amanda here. Today I'm bringing back a video that I did a couple years ago called Least Expensive versus Most Expensive. Basically, I tried to use the makeup that I already have in my collection, find the least expensive and most expensive versions of something. For example, I'll try to find two concealers that are similar, two tinted brow gels that are similar, and apply all of the most expensive versions to one side of my face and the least expensive versions to the other side. I think this is a really fun experiment to see how similar or how different products can be from wildly different price points. And I'm also going to add an extra layer to this experiment because I just did my base makeup. I'm going to film an eyeshadow tutorial video next, and I'm going to post that eyeshadow video first and see if there really is anyone who can notice that I have two very, very different makeup budgets on either side of my face. I doubt anybody's going to notice. I really highly doubt it because I think that the end result looks pretty darn good. I honestly can't tell a difference even close up. So I'm curious if you can tell a difference. Do you have any guesses? Which side is the least expensive? Which side is the most expensive? And then, of course, you'll get to see all of these products being applied. You'll get to see them in real time. How different are they? How similar are they? I want to start first with a close-up look at just my bare skin. I just have done my morning skincare routine. So I was already moisturized and already had my SPF on. I like to try to do that probably 30 minutes before I put any makeup on, just so that everything has time to soak in, dry down, and give me the best possible base for my makeup. So let's go back in time to no makeup Amanda.
Before we apply anything, I just want to give you a close-up look at my skin. And I like to do this anytime I'm doing a base routine type of video so that you can see the real starting point. But I also like to show you my real life skin. This is no makeups, no filters. I want you to see the red spots, the sunspots, the wrinkles and lumps and bumps and things like that because we see so much false looking perfect skin, and this is a human skin. I think I have great skin. I'm very happy with how I look with no makeup, and I know that that is a hard earned battle for a lot of us. So I just want to kind of balance out the filters and the blurring and the lighting and everything and just remind you that having human flawed, air quotes, flawed skin is fine and normal and actually really great. And I just want to encourage you to love whatever you look like, whether you have makeup on or not. Now I'm going to climb off of my soapbox and talk to you about this makeup instead of preaching about skin acceptance. On my most expensive side, I'm applying the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. This one is priced at $36. This has been a long time favorite for me. I love a skin tint and I have dry skin. So something like this with that serum type of texture always is something that I enjoy. On the least expensive side, I'm using the LA Girl Tinted Foundation. I'm going to list all of the shades of everything I use down in the description box if you're curious about that. This LA Girl Tinted Foundation is a very similar lightweight gel type of texture. You can find this one for $8.99 at Ulta, another one that I've really enjoyed for a long time. I will say the big difference here is the amount of coverage. I need two layers to get the same coverage as I get with one layer application of the Danessa Myrick skin tint. So while the end result is indistinguishable, it does take more product from the least expensive option. So I think that's worth noting. I'm gonna put on a little bit of lip balm and then it's time to conceal. I'm using my expensive option, which is the Glowish concealer from Huda Beauty. You can find the Glowish concealer for $27. And definitely the thing to note with this one is that I don't have a perfect match. So I needed to mix two shades together to get the right color for me. Whereas with my least expensive option, that's the Flower Beauty Get Real Serum Concealer, which you can pick up for a cool 12 bucks over at Ulta. And that one does have a perfect shade match for me. So I think that the skin tint, I enjoy the more expensive option. But for the concealer, I'm actually more prone to reach for this less expensive option. Not only is it a better shade match for me, but it's also just a lot more coverage. I think you can tell from the side by side here. However, it's all going to even out because I am going to use a little bit of a setting powder, and I'm not using a translucent powder. I'm actually using a tinted powder. So it really will even out that coverage for me. For my least expensive option, I'm using the Pretty Fresh pressed powder from ColourPop. This one is $14. And on the other side, I'm going to use a Too Faced powder. This is the Born This Way pressed powder. They don't make this one anymore. So I'm just sort of guesstimating the price. I'm sure I could probably look back at my old videos and dig through tons of footage to find what that price was originally, but they do have a similar product available now. So that's where I got that $40 number. It would probably be in that 38 to 42 range. So sort of a guesstimate, but I think for this video's purpose, that works. Next is one of my all time favorite steps, and that is cream blush. Another ColourPop option on my least expensive side. I'm using their Instant Crush Lip and Cheek Balm. And then on the more expensive side, I'm using the cream blush from Sigma Beauty. This is a newer one to my collection, and I've really been enjoying it. This one isn't immediately noticeable. However, the wear time was where I noticed the difference for this one. By the end of the day, when I was removing my makeup, I could tell that the Sigma blush did last longer. It was just more noticeable, more apparent, still existing on my cheeks. Whereas this Instant Crush lip and cheek balm seems to have faded significantly more. It wasn't so bad that it looked crazy, but with my very nitpicky reviewer eye, I can tell you the Sigma one did last longer on my cheeks. The last product that we're going to do a side by side for is a tinted brow gel. I love the one and done nature of a tinted brow gel. So for my more expensive side, I'm using the Boy Brow from Glossier. This one will set you back $22. And then on my least expensive side, I'm using my absolute favorite drugstore brow option, which is the NYX Brow Glue, and this one is only $10, so less than half the price. Overall, I feel like I get a better tint, a better filled in looking brow from the Boy Brow, but I do think that I get a better long term hold from the brow glue. So, definitely pros and cons for each one of those, regardless of the price point. At the end of the day, I think that both sides of my face look pretty much exactly the same on application. I did mention that by the end of the day, you could tell more of a difference, but really mostly only in the blush and maybe in the hold of the brow gel. But I don't think that pretty much anyone would really notice that one side of my face was $159 worth of product and the other side of my face was just about $55 worth of product. Certainly, there are other factors to consider besides just price, things like availability, if you can actually even access these products, how great the shade ranges might be. While I hesitate to call any of these products exact dupes for one another, I think we as a beauty community have really raised the bar over the past few years what is considered a dupe and what isn't. I do think these are pretty darn similar. I'm really happy with the end result, and I do enjoy all of these products. I think it's pretty easy to see why, but there are a lot of great things at a less expensive price point if you're willing to hunt for them.
I've been reviewing makeup in earnest for almost 10 years. I have seen a huge shift in the beauty industry towards a baseline, much higher quality product. Now, along with that, we have seen rising costs. I mean, the drugstore has gotten a lot more expensive over these past 10 years, but I would say that the escalation in quality has outpaced the escalation in price for drugstore and affordable type brands. Of course, in general, prices have trended upwards, but I do think there are definitely a lot more of these drugstore, affordable, accessible type brand products that are on track to outperform or at least match the performance of a lot of their high end counterparts in my collection, anyway. Overall, I think that is really a net positive for everybody. For us as consumers, we have a higher bar, and that bar is being met more often in the products that we are spending our money on. And I think it's also good for the brands because this is going to push everyone to come up with more interesting and higher quality products. In my opinion, these high end brands that were really on top of the world for so long, brands like MAC or Tarte or Too Faced, even NARS and Makeup Forever, they have drugstore brands and indie brands on their heels. And I think that is going to push them to innovate and to bring something more creative to the table for us as consumers. It's pretty clear, not just from this video, but from the catalog of reviews you can find on YouTube and across the internet now. You don't have to pay hundreds and thousands of dollars to get great quality makeup. You can, and if you want to, I mean, certainly, obviously, I get it. But there is absolutely something wonderful available at almost every price point. Of course, there are going to be things like accessibility, like do you have access to an Ulta? Is there an international shipping cost? Is there a limited shade range? We are now going to be able to push further on those types of things. Obviously, that's all relevant too, but I think that we are on a great path for improving the quality of our less expensive makeup products. I would love to hear what you think. Do you notice a difference between the expensive and less expensive sides? I'll update you on the wear time and see how this holds up throughout the rest of the day. But on first application, I think that they are pretty darn similar. Make sure you leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. I always love to hear what you think about things too. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! You know you're gonna have to say something eventually, right? Okay, great. Okay, that didn't even make any sense. Wow, she's a lady. Woohoo! I just curled my lashes because I didn't want to put mascara on because I don't want to mess up. I don't want to set myself up for failure for my tutorial video, so I just curled my lashes. But I think it looks pretty good. I need some more coffee. I didn't sleep that well last night. I'm waiting for the repair guys to come because my heating unit is acting funny. Thankfully, it's not fully broken or we would be screwed because it's so cold here. So thank goodness for that. But it's definitely struggling and I want to get it repaired before we have a real frozen crisis on our hands. The joys of home ownership. I won't complain. I won't complain. But it is something to think about. I love this lip balm. I love it. I love it. I love it. This one's Elixir. It smells like freshly brewed coffee, and I'm so craving another coffee right now. So good. All right, got another video to film, but we're on track. One more coffee and one more video, and I will be crushing it before lunch. Doesn't happen in my world very often. Being a night owl forced to live in an early bird world is, it's not it. It's not it for me. What do you mean my child has to be at school at 7:45? Like AM? But here we are. Okay, thanks for watching. I love your face. I'll see you real soon in another one. Come back and I'll be here with a video. You can watch it and then we can do this all over again next time. Love your face. Bye.